Are you ready to expand your life and reality? Join us for the next hour with Jamie Bates as she shares life-changing thoughts, techniques, and awarenesses to help you expand your reality.
Hello and welcome. I am Jamie Bates, consciousness facilitator and expander of realities. My mission with my radio show is to create greater awareness of what is possible and to expand you beyond the limitations of this reality. I am grateful that you're joining me today. And today, you guys, I just want to chat because it's weird right now, isn't it? Uh, Today, I'm going to do my best to explain what I am aware of that's going down right now, provide you with some energetic support, maybe a little bit of release, and some inspiration moving forward. So I have not done a show in a few weeks. As you can hear, potentially, I'm at the tail end of a sickness I have been kind of moving through, and I've not really been defining it as I've been sick. It's more like I'm very aware that my body is recalibrating to a lot of the new frequencies and vibrations that are coming through right now. I did not do a show 2 weeks ago. That was the Wednesday right before the Matrix Live class. And let me tell you what, that class was amazing. The people that were there, the shifts and changes that we did, the programming that we were able to deconstruct, the places that we went, it was truly remarkable. So I'm super grateful for that. And that course itself brought me into a lot more awareness of my next forward motion and where I'm going. And I know it did that for every single person here. And right after the class, I started a few days after I started not feeling all that great, but I was really aware that my body was trying to tell me, we're getting ready to move into the last big retrograde of the year. Okay. And during a retrograde, we're in Mercury retrograde right now. Today is October 6, 2021. And during a retrograde, it's always a good time to reflect on what is it that you're currently doing? What are you doing that's working? What are you doing that isn't working? Where do you need to reorganize? Where do you need to kind of let go of things that aren't working? In fact, you're probably hearing the screams coming from your life right now, right? And your life is saying, this isn't working, right? And right now we need to really be listening to those. It's time to really reflect on what has been going on, what's working for your life, what's not working for your life. Now, right now is not the time to be making a whole lot of decisions. Okay. So I'm not insinuating that you make you decide something isn't working and you just let it go or whatever it may be. That really right now it's the time to really stop and really be aware. Look at your patterns, look at how you're functioning, look at what you're in that's not working, what you're in that is working. Where can you start investing more time and space? But it's kind of just like a time of reflection right now. Okay. We also have a bunch of planets that are doing a whole bunch of funky dances, really, truly. And as we continue to deconstruct the system, right, we've been going through this great deconstruction of the system for the last few years. We are feeling the off feeling because a lot of the old connection points are gone. Life as we know it has changed, right? And, I think a lot of us thought maybe life was going to go back to some kind of quote unquote normal, right? But the old normal is gone. And so now we are still, even though we had that time of great decompression, right? When everybody was kind of off for COVID during 2020, right? And now here we are in 2021, and it's like, life isn't the same still, but it's like we're trying to do kind of those same old things and they're not working anymore. And so it feels really weird. It feels really off, right? And, we're on the verge of the fall of the system. Okay. And this is a system that has been in control of this civilization since the dawn of time, really, since we know it as embodied beings. Now, humans have existed on Earth for approximately 300,000 years. but only about 50 to 60,000 years ago, since we have evolved into like the embodied beings that we are right now. 50,000 years. Now, in those 50,000 years, being the embodied being that you are right now, you have probably been here. Let's just look at that for a moment. How many lifetimes have you came here and embodied as a human being over the last 50,000 years? Just allow yourself to perceive that number for a moment. I like to kind of look at it like, is it more than 50 times that you've been here as an embodied being in the last 50,000 years? More than 50 or less than 50? Less than 50 times that you've been an embodied human being over the last 50,000 years? Probably more than likely, most of you have been here more than 50 times. Just feel that for a moment. Truth, have you been here more than 50 times? You feel the lightness on that? Okay, so just think about this for a second. I kind of want to break this down for a moment because I feel like we are so hard on ourselves right now in this lifetime, right? Like we are so critical of life and what's going on around us and our ability to create and all of these things. So I'm going to go back here for a second again. We have been embodied beings like we are right now for 50,000 years. Okay, 50,000. I know I already said that, but I'm saying it again because I want you to really get a big picture here. 50,000 years. Okay. So let's look at what we have gone through in just the last 200 years of approximately 50,000 years of embodiment here in this reality. Indoor plumbing didn't even become a thing until around 1851. That's 170 years ago when indoor plumbing was first invented. Okay, so that means potentially you've had at least one lifetime with indoor plumbing, right? But probably more than likely you haven't had two. Maybe you have been alive twice in the last 170 years, but most homes didn't even have plumbing until around the 1940s. Now, I know that we know these things, but I think it's really good to reflect and look back at these things, right? We all learned these things in school when we were young, but I think right now to give us a greater perspective of really truly what's going on, it's really kind of important to kind of relook at these things and really get perspective of how much has changed in just our time being alive right now. There are potentially people listening to this show right this very moment that lived in a house when they were young that didn't even have indoor plumbing. Okay, indoor plumbing wasn't even really a popular thing in most homes until 1940. That's only 81 years ago, you guys. You may have had a mom or a dad or a grandparent who lived in a home without indoor plumbing, or you may even be a person right now. I know I have some fans in their 80s and 90s listening to the show who grew up in a home with no indoor plumbing. The telephone wasn't even invented until 1976, which is 145 years ago, but wasn't even widely used until about 1900, which is about 121 years ago. So again, this could literally be your first embodiment with even being able to speak on a telephone. Just feel that for a moment. Scientists say that the first modern record keeping didn't even really start until roughly about 1880. So only for about the last 141 years have we even been keeping track of time. So right now, this is probably your first embodiment where you have had indoor plumbing, where you have had the ability to speak to somebody on the phone in a different part of the world, where you have had to keep track of time. The first car wasn't even invented until 1886, 135 years ago, but didn't even become a normal thing until around the 1920s. It's like 100 years ago. Just feel that for a second. Again, you've never had a car. This is your first embodiment with a car. Electricity wasn't invented until 1879 when Thomas Edison got his first electric light bulb to work 142 years ago. But electricity wasn't even in half of the homes in this world until 1925. So less than 100 years ago, only about 50% of homes had electricity. And again, I know that we have learned these things, but I think right now, in this moment, in the critical mass of what we're moving through right now, we have so many points of views about life and about, again, I'll go back to potentially you've been here for 50 lifetimes, and this is your first one that you have ever had indoor plumbing, electricity, a telephone. You've been keeping track of time. You've been driving in a car, right? The cell phone was invented in 1973, but most people didn't even have a cell phone until the late 1990s. I know I didn't have a cell phone until like the year 2000. That's less than 21 years ago, you guys. I think we can all agree that we all remember a time and space where we didn't have a cell phone, right? Social media wasn't even invented. MySpace was our very first real social media site to take off, right? That was 1997. I never had a MySpace. I don't know about you guys, but I never had a MySpace. I didn't have social media until like maybe 2007. I want to say my Facebook says 2008. Seems right, 2008. I didn't check to make sure, but I think it was like 2008. So that's truly like 13, maybe 14 years ago. Before I had children, I had been on an airplane maybe one time in my life. My kids have flown more times than I can count, multiple times per month. One of my children, well, actually, all my children have flown multiple times per month to multiple different locations. One of my daughters came with me in 2017, and we went on 10 different trips where we flew in an airplane. And my daughter went to California all by herself, right? We are in unprecedented times. Okay. These are times that, again, if I go back to, even if you've been here 50 lifetimes, which you've probably been here more than 50 lifetimes, and now all of a sudden, this one lifetime, you are being introduced to a completely different way of life. In the last 150 years of the last 50,000 years of being embodied as we are right now, we have made significant strides in humankind. We are waking up on a level we have never, ever, ever been awake before. We have access to things that we have never had access to before. Just even look at the last couple years of social media and how social media has taken off, and the amount of information that we have available to us. And, one of the things that I'm really aware of as us energetically sensitive people is most of us are dealing with multiple levels of energetic overwhelm. We aren't accustomed to being pummeled with information as we are right now. All of the old connection points to the world as we know it are dissolving and being destroyed and are moving away. And here we are, we're supposed to be functioning as we always have functioned. And again, I'll go back to this lifetime alone, you are functioning differently than you've ever functioned before. And we wonder why we come here with this we don't understand and we're confused and this reality doesn't make very much sense. And we feel all of this, this turmoil inside. Just going to pull this through for a moment. We are living through the Great Awakening. We are discovering the manipulation that we have been put through for thousands and thousands and thousands of years on this planet. Although we've only made great strides and transformation in the last 200 years, there was, probably 20 or 30,000 years that we have lived in control and domination, where you lived in a home in a small community of, maybe 50 or 60 people, and you had to do as everyone said, and you were allowed no choice and no possibilities. And life was just as it was. And the only way you could travel was to get on horseback. And that wasn't even like you could really cross country travel, right? Life as we know it is so different than it ever has been. And it's going to continue to shift and change, and it's going to continue to be different. So don't be so hard on yourself right now. We are moving through a massive awakening. We are assimilating energies on a level we have never been assimilating energies before. We have an information overload issue going on right now, where we are getting pummeled with information, and we're feeling the pull right now. Every single one of us are feeling the pull, because as we move into the new earth paradigm, as these forming structures crumble and fall, and as this earth as we know it, the life as we know it, becomes unavailable, we are going to have to build these new forming structures for what life looks like. New ways to create wealth, new ways to sustain our life and our bodies. And we're feeling all of that right now. And I just want to acknowledge that within you and let you know that everybody's going through this right now. Okay, it's not just you. What it's time to do right now is to really evaluate where you're at right now and really start looking at, what do I need to let go of? What am I doing right now that isn't working for me? What's holding me back from truly stepping into the space of who I be? What am I here to create in this 5D reality? And you might not know that yet, and that's okay. I don't think a lot of us really truly do know exactly what we're here to create. Breathe that in for a moment. But I know that you have been feeling the yearning and the urge. And I know that you're feeling like it's time, like it's becoming time to start stepping into this new space, even if you don't even really know what that new space is yet. So let's first look at, what are you currently doing, being, choosing, that you need to let go of? Let's just look at all of that. Everything, all of that is. And all of that, 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 all of that. Yeah, everything, all of that is. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. I'm just going to vortex this through for a moment. What is everything in the way of you letting all of that go? And that right there. And all of that, 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 everything, all of that is. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of you universes? Then can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. I know we're in this time and space right now where it feels like we're kind of being like squeezed, right? Like it's like we're being forced to do things that we don't want to do. We're being forced in positions that we don't want to have. We're being forced to complete jobs and be in spaces and places we don't want to be. And what if you didn't have to? What if you just gave yourself some space to just let it go? Know that everything that's becoming heavy and hard for you to do right now is because the universe is directing you to something greater. You will not fail. You will not fall. Breathe that through for a moment. You are here for something greater. If where you're at right now is feeling heavy and hard and like you can't move forward, that's by design. That's happening because the universe is trying to direct you into the new spaces of where you're meant to go, of what you're meant to do, of who you're meant to be. What are you doing currently that you need to let go of? And that right there. And everything, all of that is. And all of that, 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 all of that. And we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes. And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. Let's look at all the excuses to why you can't really truly do what you desire to do. Let's just pull all those up. Ooh, all of those, 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 everything, all of those are. Can we just choose to remove all of those from all of you universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. I know I'm really feeling that pull to I have a lot of points of views about what I have to keep doing as a consciousness facilitator. Well, I found I have a lot of points of views about it, right? About what it looks like and how I need to keep moving. And, my life has been kind of directing me into a new space for probably the last 6 or 7 months or so. And I've been kind of ignoring it because I've been telling myself, oh, there's a lot of other people who already do that. And, I don't want to compete and I don't want to, put energy into that if I'm, going against other people, like all of these weird and wonky points of views. And my life recently has been saying, stop it. Stop buying into that. This is where you're meant to go. Go there. Allow yourself. Be space. Assimilate the information. Receive. Finding myself ready to create something that I've been in resistance of creation. What is everything that your life has been trying to create, but you've been in resistance of creating it? That right there. Yeah, and all of that, 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 everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. What are you ready to create that if you gave yourself the space to create it would manifest with ease? And that right there. Let's just receive that. Receive, 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 and everything in the way of you creating that and all of that. All of that, 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 everything, all of that is. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. Breathe that through. This retrograde is giving us time and space and to really truly evaluate where we're going and what we're here to do on this planet. You don't have to know exactly what that is yet, but you do have to start giving yourself space to receive that new information. I am in the process of creating some new stuff. You know me, you guys, I'm always in creation mode. I am a powerful creator. I enjoy to create. That's one of the things that I really give myself space for. And, I think creation is one of those things where people really judge it. Right. Like if you're constantly creating, it's like one of these things where people, we live in this society that doesn't work. Right. And this is part of the unraveling of, you choose something and you choose it forever. Right. And, if you get a job as, a teacher, you have to be a teacher for the whole rest of your life. Or you get a job as a nurse, right? You got to show up and be a nurse every day for the rest of your life. And we're realizing right now that, hey, you know what? um, we've picked careers that really don't work for us, and we're doing things that we really don't want to. And we're living life in a way that we really don't desire to live our life, right? One of the things I've learned working for myself and being a consciousness facilitator is life is constantly shifting and changing. And understanding the creation of life is understanding that it's okay to continuously move and shift and create, and allow yourself to always be present with what your life would desire to do and what you would like to be and who you would like to create, right, yourself as in that moment. Life is fluid, it's full of frequency and vibration, and this whole paradigm of showing up and doing the same thing every single day is a concept that isn't working. And again, I'll go back to, is a concept that is newer within the last 100 years. And look at how very short of a time frame it is showing up to actually be created that way. Within the next 40 years, we will see the way that we live right now become obsolete. Okay, because it does not work for our civilization. It does not work for us as the people. And we're creating this new paradigm of things that do work, being fluid, understanding creation, understanding, the ebbs and flows of life, understanding that working a 9 to 5 or going to work, 40 plus hours a week, it doesn't actually work for us. It doesn't work for our bodies. It doesn't work for our life. This busy paradigm of always moving and always doing something and always creating is changing. We're moving into the slow paradigm of understanding that we can be fluid with movement in life and move when we want to move and rest when we need to rest and be space when we need to be space and assimilate energies when we need to assimilate. And knowing that no matter how fast or slow or that we move and shift, that everything be okay. The universe really truly does have your back. There is nothing that you have to be or do. As we move through these energies here for the next few months, we're going to continue to expect these intensities. And it's really, truly of the utmost importance that you really start letting go of those things that no longer work for you. I have some amazing new creations coming through. I'm putting together a course creator program right now because I know so many of you, and especially you avid listeners of the show, you're ready to really step into who you be as a change agent. You have been learning and discovering all of these amazing talents and spaces that you be, and now it's time to put that into motion and to really allow yourself to step into that space of a change agent that you truly be. So I am putting a course creator program together. I have been, really a master creator of courses, you guys. I've created over 20 courses. I have mastered all of the art of creating courses. I understand the parts and pieces that need to be put into a course, and I'm right now developing a course creator program I should have available within the next couple weeks for you to start registering for. My goal is to get us started. I know we're moving into, the end of the year and Christmas and things like that, but everything's going to look really different this year. My goal is to be done by the beginning of next year. So by 2022, you can have your course completed and you can start the year off as a facilitator of whatever it is that you are as a change agent. So I'm super excited about that. So if you are not on my email list, please go to either my website, Jamie, Jamie-Bates, Bates.com, sign up for my newsletter there, or go to the I'm sorry, it's just consciousempath.com and sign up for my email letter there. Either one, you're going to get the same kind of thing. There is a free series on both of those pages. They're two different though. One of them is to deal with overwhelm. If you're dealing with a chronic overwhelm right now, the series on the jamie-bates.com is the one that you want to sign up for. If you're just looking for help right now to just truly manage your energy, go to consciousempath.com and sign up for the 5-day series that's over there. So I have two different free series. One series is on jamie-bates.com. The other one is on consciousempath.com. But either way, no matter what list you sign up for, you will receive notifications, emails from me letting you know when this new course creator program is coming. If you're ready to really step into the facilitator that you be, whether it's you're going to teach energy healing or you're going to teach energy facilitation, or you're just going to teach something that you specialize in, this course is going to help you to wrap your brain around getting it organized and getting it out to the world. Plus, I'm going to be featuring people who do the program, once you complete your course and you're ready to share it with the world, you can be a guest on Expand Your Reality, and you can share your gifts with the world and my Facebook page and all of the other things I have going on. You can be a Conscious Empath affiliate and share your program there as well. So lots of big things moving through. I know that as change agents, as a consciousness facilitator, I know we need to band together and we need to start really getting our messages out there, right? There's enough for every one of us. We all have a tribe. Our tribes all overlap. It's time that we band together and we start really creating consciousness for this planet. So again, you can go to either one of my websites, Jamie, Jamie-Bates, BATES.com, or consciousempath.com, and register there for my newsletter and be kept informed when we start doing the conscious creator program. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that I was able to kind of give you some light on what's going on right now, and I hope that we connect soon. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Stay space.
You have been listening to Expand Your Reality with your host, Jamie Bates. Thank you for listening.